We live in a very extroverted society. We need to be sociable, we need to be loud, we need to be visible. We need to be there and present at all time. Yet some of the best inventors in history, some of the most brilliant minds, they have been introverts. And over 50% of today's population is actually introverts. But do we talk enough about it? I officially came out as an introvert a couple of years ago. And back then there were no books, there was not much literature about it, there were no survival guides. So if you're also an introvert and you're struggling with daily life and living in this very extroverted society, I really hope you'll find this guide useful. So let's start. Small talk is just like something that frightens us. We don't know how to do it. How was your weekend? Oh my god, the weather is awful today. What was the match score? Normally, we try to find emotional connections with people and we want to communicate at a deeper level. Now, my advice for introverts is that, unfortunately, we won't be able to change this, right? We go to work in the morning and people will ask these questions all the time. Be ready with maybe a few pointers of things that you want to discuss about your weekend, for example, and a few follow-up questions so that you won't be caught unprepared. Start with a small talk and then try to maybe develop into a deeper conversation if you have time, maybe over coffee or maybe in front of the water cooler. I hate small talk. If there's one thing we hate more than small talk, is small talk on the elevator. What do you talk about in that short time of frame? There's not enough time to start a meaningful conversation, and we don't want to talk about the weather. Oh, lovely dress, but I am taking the stairs every morning, up 5 floors. It's a great cardio exercise, just take the stairs. It's not that we don't want to be with people, it's just that being with a lot of people in a crowded space or in an open space takes a lot of energy out of us. We do recharge when we are on our own, doing things maybe one-to-one with the person that matter in our life, or doing things that are more kind of quiet, which is why for me the worst part of my day is actually commuting to and from work. Especially if you live in a very busy, crowded city like London, you just feel suffocating. If you can walk to work, if you can take a bus instead of the tube or the subway or the metro, wherever you live, just try and take the bus. I can read, I have 4G connection, I can check my emails, I can watch YouTube videos, I can just sit down and be with myself. Keep a journal if you can. It is an incredible exercise to put your thoughts on paper and kind of get rid of them from your head. You don't need to be a professional writer, you can just buy something like this little journal that is a 1 line a day. If you work in an office and you're surrounded by people, maybe like me, you work in an open space, find a spot in your office where you feel like you can recharge for even just 5 minutes. But if it's over coffee, if it's just sitting down, if it's just going outside and grab a coffee outside, if you can, just leave your phone at your desk and just have a mindful lunch. When it comes to your social life, it's really important to keep a balance between personal time and time with friends, time with activities, time to have fun, and time to recharge. We love to party, we love to have fun, we're not boring people, we just need some downtime. If your friends are extroverts, they ask you out all the time and they invite you to a lot of parties and they invite you to a lot of social events, just don't be afraid to say no. Just make sure that you keep a window for yourself where you can actually do the things you like, where you can read a book, where you can stay home, watch movies, where you can just be in your nest and just recharge. And quite frankly, if your friends are your true friends, they will understand that you're not like them and you need your own time, and they will respect your choice. Another scenario that could make an introvert not very comfortable is the scenario of a house party. We enjoy parties. It's not like we just want to read books and code a new software. We want to party. It's just that at some point we're gonna have to leave. And you as an introvert, you know exactly where your breakup point is. It's not because we don't like you people or that your party sucks, it's just that we have reached our saturation point, and after that point we'll just start feeling miserable. We had the time of our life at your party and now it's time to go. Just be reassured that it's absolutely fine to leave. Life is too short to be wasted doing things you don't want to do. Why would you be wasting your time hanging around with people that you don't like or you don't want to be around? In your personal life, you have a choice and you can choose how you spend your time. Time is really precious, and it's the way we spend it that defines who we are. Really think carefully when you decide to do something that you don't want to do, because that's time that you're using, you're consuming, not doing something that you love. Friends, for me, it's a very interesting word, because the definition of friend is completely different for an introvert and extrovert. When I use the word friend, I use it very carefully, because for introverts, friends are very few people, and introverts can probably count their true friends on one hand. That's because we're really selective with our friends. That doesn't mean we don't talk to anyone else. That doesn't mean we're not friendly with people. To be considered a friend of an introvert, you really need to be in the very close, intimate circle. Those people that I can have one-to-one interactions, and by doing so, I actually recharge myself because I get meaning out of it. And spend time with them. And again, time is really precious, so just make sure you allocate the right time to the right people. But also don't forget to spend time with the most important person in your life, yourself. Time to cultivate your passions, to do the things you love. That's why I call Marco time, which is time for me to do the things I like and recharge. Being an introvert doesn't mean that you need to lock yourself up in an ivory tower. It's actually accepting yourself for who you are and know what your limits are. Don't become antisocial, because the thing is that I met some of my best friends in very extroverted situations. Some of my best friends are actually extroverts themselves. I think it's really important to also have a good balance between introverted and extroverted friends. My extroverted friends, they kind of push my limits a little bit and they challenge me, and my introverted friends are those who I can have more meaningful conversations maybe. Something else I think is very important in social situations that you can't avoid is learn how to camouflage. Don't just say, oh well, I'm an introvert, so I will not be talking to anyone or making any small talk. It's really important to actually kind of stretch your limits and adapt yourself to different situations, right? So learn how to be more like a chameleon, go from one social situation to another, without forgetting, of course, to get some time for yourself to recharge at the end. Something that helped me incredibly while I was kind of processing all these feelings of feeling out of place. I felt extremely weird. I was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I reacting this way in social situations? Why do I feel awkward around people? Why I can't have a conversation with strangers? Quiet, from Susan Cain. And she doesn't know, of course she doesn't know, but she's one of my personal heroes. This is basically the Bible to introversion. It's a fascinating reading, full of incredible information, very scientific based, lots of things that you can easily relate to, because she's also an introvert and she's quite incredible. She's quite an incredible person. The power of introverts in a world that can't stop talking. My life hasn't been the same since I read this book 2 years ago. Thank you, Susan. And yeah, so that basically brings me to the final point, which is awareness. The most important thing is that for you as an introvert to talk about introversion with all the people that matters in your life. They need to know you're an introvert and they need to know what introversion means. It's not about being antisocial, it's not about being awkward, it's not about being shy. The world out there needs to shut up and just listen for a second to the power of introverts, because we have this incredible power that we can unleash. You're absolutely beautiful the way you are. You're not alone, because there's so many introverts out there. I am one of those. And now I feel extremely tired because I've been talking for a long time and I need to recharge as well. I hope you liked this video, find it useful. If you did, please give it a like, share with your friends, and of course, please subscribe to my channel. I try to make new videos every week. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Marco, in a ball.